Imagine standing alone beneath the blazing Egyptian sun. Before you rises a monument so enormous that even after more than 4,500 years, modern engineers still struggle to explain exactly how it was built. More than 2.3 million limestone blocks, each weighing several tons, perfectly aligned with the cardinal directions. Built without modern cranes, without steel, without computers, without machines. This is not just a pyramid. It is the Great Pyramid of Giza, the last surviving wonder of the ancient world. For centuries, historians believed they understood its purpose. A royal tomb, a monument to Pharaoh Khufu, a masterpiece of ancient engineering. Case closed, or so they thought, because in recent years, something extraordinary happened. Scientists peered inside the Great Pyramid without removing a single stone. Using technology that could see through solid rock, they discovered something no one expected. A vast hidden space, a chamber unlike any ever recorded. A room that no human being has entered for over 4,000 years, or perhaps has never entered at all. And suddenly, one question echoed around the world. What is hidden inside the Great Pyramid? Could these sealed spaces contain forgotten treasures, lost royal records, ancient technology, or evidence that history itself is incomplete? Tonight, we descend into one of archaeology's greatest mysteries. Not through myth, not through fantasy, but through real discoveries, ancient inscriptions, cutting-edge science, and the questions that still keep Egyptologists awake at night. Because the deeper we look into the Great Pyramid, the stranger the story becomes. A monument that refuses to give up its secrets. The Great Pyramid has dominated the Giza Plateau for nearly 45 centuries. When it was completed around 2560 BCE, it stood approximately 146 meters, or 481 feet, tall. For almost 3,800 years, it remained the tallest human-made structure on Earth. Its builders left behind no detailed construction manual, no surviving blueprint, no complete written explanation describing how millions of stones were quarried, transported, and placed with astonishing precision. Ancient Egyptians certainly left countless inscriptions across temples and tombs. Yet, curiously, the Great Pyramid itself contains very little decorative writing compared to other royal monuments. Unlike the colorful tombs discovered in the Valley of the Kings, the interior of the Great Pyramid appears almost silent. Empty corridors, smooth granite walls, massive chambers, long ascending passages, an architecture that feels less like a decorated royal tomb and more like an enormous machine designed for a purpose we still debate. For generations, explorers entered believing they already knew what they would find. But the deeper they searched, the more mysteries appeared, the puzzle hidden in plain sight. Most visitors believe the Great Pyramid has only 3 major rooms: the King's Chamber, the Queen's Chamber, the unfinished subterranean chamber beneath the pyramid. That seems straightforward. Yet this picture is surprisingly incomplete. Behind solid stone walls lie shafts that appear to lead nowhere. Tiny tunnels no wider than a person's shoulders. Hidden cavities, blocked passages, architectural features that seem unnecessary if the structure served only as a royal burial chamber. Even more puzzling are the so-called air shafts. For centuries, they were assumed to provide ventilation, but many never actually reach the outside. Some end behind carefully sealed limestone blocks fitted with mysterious copper handles. Why place tiny doors deep inside a monument where no living person was expected to travel? What were they protecting? Or perhaps, what were they hiding? A discovery that shocked the scientific community. In 2015, an international team of researchers launched one of the most ambitious archaeological investigations ever attempted. Instead of drilling through the pyramid, they used an elegant technique borrowed from particle physics: cosmic ray muon imaging. Every second, tiny particles called muons pass naturally through Earth's atmosphere and even through solid rock. By measuring how many particles pass through different parts of the pyramid, scientists can effectively create a 3-dimensional map of its hidden interior. It is similar in principle to taking an X-ray of a human body. Only this X-ray is performed by the universe itself. No damage, no excavation, no disturbance to the ancient structure. The project became known as Scan Pyramids. Researchers expected to confirm what archaeologists already believed. Instead, they found something astonishing. Above the Grand Gallery lay a previously unknown void. Not a small crack, not a random pocket of missing stone, but an enormous empty space stretching roughly 30 meters, nearly 100 feet, in length. It was unlike anything previously documented inside the Great Pyramid. The discovery was announced in 2017. Almost immediately, newspapers around the world exploded with headlines. A hidden chamber inside the Great Pyramid. A secret void no one knew existed. Ancient mystery deepens. Yet despite years of study, no one knows exactly what this enormous space is. No entrance has been found. No artifacts have been recovered. No photographs exist from inside. It remains completely inaccessible. One of the largest hidden spaces ever discovered inside an ancient monument. And humanity still has no direct way to enter it. The silence of the stones. Perhaps the greatest mystery is not what we have discovered. It is what remains silent. Unlike later pyramids that contain extensive religious texts known as the pyramid texts, the Great Pyramid's inner chambers are remarkably plain. There are no grand murals describing the afterlife. No carved scenes of gods guiding the king to heaven. No richly painted ceilings filled with stars. Instead, there is stone, perfectly cut granite, massive limestone blocks, geometry so precise that even modern laser measurements reveal astonishing accuracy. Why would Egypt's most ambitious monument contain so little visible information? Was this simplicity intentional? Were inscriptions placed somewhere that has never been reached? Or were certain chambers deliberately sealed before history even began recording itself? These questions continue to divide scholars today. Some archaeologists argue the pyramid was intentionally minimalist. Others believe significant areas of the structure remain completely unexplored. What everyone agrees on is simple. We still do not know everything inside the Great Pyramid. A story still being written. For centuries, explorers believed the age of discovery inside the Great Pyramid was over. Every tunnel mapped, every chamber recorded, every mystery solved. Modern technology proved them wrong. Today, researchers continue to scan the monument using increasingly sophisticated imaging techniques. Each new dataset raises fresh questions rather than providing final answers. The Great Pyramid has survived empires, wars, earthquakes, treasure hunters, centuries of investigation, and somehow, it still guards secrets that no one fully understands. Perhaps its greatest revelation has not yet been uncovered. Perhaps the most important chamber has never been entered. Or perhaps the answers have been hiding in plain sight all along, waiting for humanity to develop the technology needed to see them. Long before satellites orbited the Earth, long before steel cranes pierced the skyline, long before electricity powered cities, an ancient civilization standing on the edge of the Nile accomplished something that continues to challenge modern imagination. The Great Pyramid was not simply built. It was engineered. Every stone, every angle, every chamber, every hidden passage. It was the product of extraordinary planning, mathematical precision, and organizational power, unlike anything the ancient world had seen before. The deeper archaeologists investigate its construction, the more astonishing it becomes. Because the true mystery isn't merely what is hidden inside the pyramid. It's how such an impossible monument came to exist in the first place. A mountain made by human hands. Around 4,500 years ago, during Egypt's 4th dynasty, Pharaoh Khufu ordered the construction of what would become the largest pyramid ever built. At the time, Egypt was one of the most powerful kingdoms on earth. Its annual Nile floods enriched farmland. Its centralized government controlled vast resources. Its skilled craftsmen represented the finest builders of the ancient world. Yet even with these advantages, the scale of Khufu's project remains breathtaking. The Great Pyramid originally stood nearly 146.6 meters, 481 feet, high. Its square base stretched over 230 meters, 756 feet, on each side. Covering more than 13 acres, it occupied an area larger than many modern city blocks. But statistics alone fail to capture the true achievement. The monument contains an estimated 2.3 million limestone and granite blocks. Many weigh between 2 and 15 tons. Some granite beams inside the King's Chamber exceed 70 tons each. Even today, moving stones of that size requires specialized heavy machinery. Yet ancient Egypt possessed none of it. No iron cranes, no engines, no hydraulic lifts, no powered vehicles. Only human labor, simple tools, sledges, ropes, wooden levers, and an extraordinary understanding of engineering. The workforce behind the wonder. For centuries, people believed slaves built the pyramids. Hollywood films reinforced this image. Countless prisoners whipped under the desert sun while dragging enormous stones. Modern archaeology tells a very different story. Excavations near Giza have uncovered the remains of a vast workers' village. There were bakeries, breweries, sleeping quarters, medical facilities. Animal bones from cattle, sheep, and goats indicate workers received nutritious diets. Skeletons reveal healed fractures, suggesting injured laborers were treated rather than discarded. These discoveries paint a picture of a highly organized workforce composed of skilled laborers, seasonal workers, engineers, architects, and craftsmen. Many likely worked during the Nile flood season, when farmland lay underwater and agricultural labor temporarily ceased. Rather than slaves, they appear to have been paid workers participating in one of the greatest national projects in Egyptian history. It was a feat of logistics as much as construction. Food had to be delivered daily. Stone had to arrive on schedule. Teams had to coordinate thousands of individual tasks with remarkable precision. This was not chaos. It was one of history's earliest examples of industrial-scale project management. The stone that traveled hundreds of miles. Most of the pyramid consists of local limestone quarried just south of the construction site. But its most important structural elements came from much farther away. The granite used in the King's Chamber originated in Aswan, nearly 800 kilometers or 500 miles to the south. Each massive block had to be extracted using stone hammers and copper tools, then transported to the Nile, loaded onto wooden barges, floated downstream, unloaded, dragged across land, raised into the pyramid, and positioned with astonishing accuracy. In 2013, archaeologists made an exciting discovery at the ancient Red Sea port of Wadi al-Jarf. There they uncovered the diary of an Egyptian official named Mirror. His papyrus records describe transporting limestone blocks by boat for Khufu's construction project. Although the diary does not explain every aspect of pyramid construction, it provides the oldest known eyewitness account connected directly to the Great Pyramid. For the first time, archaeology possessed written evidence showing how massive building materials were moved through Egypt's river network. It was one of the most important discoveries in pyramid research in decades. The mystery of the ramps. How did workers raise millions of stones to such extraordinary heights? This remains one of archaeology's greatest unanswered questions. No ancient blueprint survives. No complete construction manual has ever been found. Instead, researchers have proposed several competing theories. Some suggest a massive straight ramp extending outward from the pyramid. Others argue for a spiraling external ramp wrapping around the structure. Still others believe internal ramps may have wound unseen through the pyramid itself. Each theory solves certain problems while creating new ones. A straight ramp capable of lifting stones to the summit would itself require an enormous volume of material, perhaps nearly equal to the pyramid. A spiral ramp could explain changing elevations but might obstruct workers' ability to maintain the pyramid's precise geometry. Internal ramp theories remain intriguing, but definitive archaeological evidence is still lacking. The truth may involve a combination of different techniques used during different construction stages. What is certain is this: whoever designed the Great Pyramid understood large-scale engineering at an exceptional level. Precision beyond expectation. Perhaps the most astonishing aspect of the pyramid isn't its size. It's its accuracy. Its four sides align almost perfectly with true north, south, east, and west. The error is measured in mere fractions of a degree. Its foundation is astonishingly level despite covering 13 acres. The corner angles approach perfect right angles. The joints between some limestone blocks are so fine that inserting a razor blade can be difficult. This level of precision has inspired countless theories. Some suggest forgotten technology. Others invoke extraterrestrial assistance. Professional archaeologists, however, point to something even more impressive: human intelligence, patient observation, astronomical knowledge, generations of accumulated engineering experience. Ancient Egyptian surveyors likely used the stars to establish cardinal directions with extraordinary accuracy. Simple tools, carefully applied, can produce remarkable precision. The pyramid reminds us that advanced results do not always require advanced machines. The King's Chamber, an engineering masterpiece. Deep inside the monument lies one of its greatest structural achievements. The King's Chamber, constructed entirely from enormous granite blocks, it houses the famous granite sarcophagus traditionally associated with Pharaoh Khufu. Above this chamber are 5 relieving chambers. Their purpose remained unknown until the 19th century. Without them, the immense weight of millions of tons of stone might have crushed the ceiling below. Instead, massive granite beams redirect pressure outward. Above the highest relieving chamber sits a peaked limestone roof that disperses weight even further. This ingenious system demonstrates that the builders understood structural stress with remarkable sophistication. It wasn't luck. It wasn't accidental. It was engineering. And yet, these chambers also raise another question. If the builders possessed such advanced architectural knowledge, what else might they have incorporated into the pyramid that modern researchers have not yet discovered? The hidden geometry. Some researchers have noted mathematical relationships throughout the Great Pyramid. Its proportions approximate values associated with circles and spheres. Certain dimensions closely resemble ratios involving pi. Others appear connected to the golden ratio. Whether these relationships were intentional remains a topic of debate. Some scholars argue they emerge naturally from practical design choices. Others believe they reflect sophisticated mathematical planning. Regardless of interpretation, one fact remains undeniable. The Great Pyramid exhibits a consistency and harmony that continues to fascinate mathematicians, architects, and engineers alike. It feels less like a pile of stones and more like a carefully calculated geometric masterpiece. A monument unlike any other. Ancient Egypt built more than 100 pyramids, yet none equal the Great Pyramid in precision, scale, or mystery. Earlier pyramids show clear signs of experimentation. The bent pyramid changes angle midway through construction. The step pyramid evolved through multiple design phases. Later pyramids often became smaller and less precisely built. Curiously, the greatest achievement appears almost suddenly, as though Egyptian engineering reached its peak in a single extraordinary generation. This has puzzled historians for centuries. Why did later builders never fully replicate Khufu's masterpiece? Was specialized knowledge lost? Did economic priorities change? Or was the Great Pyramid simply an unprecedented project that no later ruler could match? No one knows with certainty. The blueprint for a mystery. Every stone inside the Great Pyramid was placed intentionally. Every corridor follows a plan. Every chamber occupies a precise location. Nothing appears random, which brings us back to the hidden spaces discovered by modern scanners. If today's researchers have already identified one enormous unexplored void, could there be others? Were hidden chambers part of the original architectural design from the beginning? Or were some spaces created for purposes that ancient builders never intended future generations to understand? The answers may lie not in the visible passages tourists walk today, but in the sealed corridors that remain beyond human reach. Imagine standing inside the heart of the Great Pyramid. The air is cool. The walls are silent. Every footstep echoes through passages carved more than 4,000 years ago. Ahead of you lies a narrow tunnel. It is barely large enough for a person to crawl through. There is no decoration, no inscription, no obvious destination. Then, After nearly 60 meters of crawling through solid stone, you reach what appears to be a door. Not an ordinary door. Perfectly fitted limestone slab. Sealed, untouched, equipped with two mysterious copper fittings that resemble handles. No ancient text explains why it exists. No inscription reveals what lies beyond it. And for thousands of years, no human being knew what was hidden on the other side. The pyramid is more than 3 chambers. Most visitors believe they understand the layout of the Great Pyramid. The descending passage, the ascending passage, the Grand Gallery, the Queen's Chamber, the King's Chamber. It appears surprisingly simple, but appearances can be deceptive. Modern surveys have revealed that the pyramid contains a network of narrow shafts, hidden cavities, construction gaps, and sealed architectural spaces that are invisible to ordinary visitors. Some are so small that only robots can enter them. Others remain completely inaccessible. Every new technological investigation has revealed that the interior is far more complex than anyone imagined only a few decades ago. The Great Pyramid isn't merely a collection of rooms. It is a three-dimensional puzzle built from more than 2 million stones. The curious shafts of the Queen's Chamber. Among the pyramid's greatest mysteries are the tiny shafts extending from the so-called Queen's Chamber. Unlike the larger passages used by people, these shafts measure only about 20 centimeters or 8 inches across. Far too narrow for a human. For centuries, nobody even knew they existed. In 1872, British engineer Wayman Dixon made a remarkable discovery. While examining the walls of the Queen's Chamber, he noticed subtle irregularities. After careful investigation, hidden openings were uncovered on both the northern and southern walls. Inside were narrow shafts extending deep into the pyramid. At first, scholars believed they were ventilation ducts. But there was one major problem. Neither shaft actually reached the outside of the pyramid. If they weren't air vents, what were they for? Some Egyptologists proposed symbolic explanations. Perhaps they represented pathways for the pharaoh's soul to reach specific stars. Others believed they were unfinished construction features. Yet none of these ideas fully explained why the shafts were sealed so carefully. The mystery remained unsolved. A robot enters the darkness. For more than a century, the shafts were too narrow for serious exploration. Then technology caught up. In 1993, German engineer Rudolf Gantenbrink designed a small tracked robot called Up You Out 2, named after the ancient Egyptian deity, often translated as Opener of the Ways. The machine was equipped with cameras, lights, and tiny climbing tracks capable of ascending the steep limestone shaft. As the robot crawled upward, archaeologists watched the live video feed with growing excitement. Meter after meter, nothing, just smooth limestone walls. Then suddenly, after traveling approximately 65 meters, the robot stopped. Blocking the shaft was a perfectly carved limestone slab. The surface appeared smooth, undisturbed, but what truly captured everyone's attention were 2 small copper fittings protruding from the stone. They looked astonishingly similar to handles. The media quickly dubbed it the Gantenbrink door, except it wasn't really known whether it was a door at all. Could have been a symbolic seal, a construction block, or something entirely different. Still, one question became unavoidable. If the stone blocked the passage, what was behind it? The world waited. The discovery made international headlines. Television documentaries speculated endlessly. Newspapers described it as one of the greatest archaeological mysteries on Earth. Some imagined hidden treasure chambers. Others suggested forgotten royal archives. More sensational theories proposed alien technology or secret knowledge deliberately concealed from history. Professional archaeologists urged caution. The existence of a sealed stone did not automatically imply hidden riches. But they also admitted something important. No one had expected the shaft to end this way. The builders had intentionally sealed it. Why? That answer remained hidden behind solid limestone. The first peek beyond. Almost 10 years later, a new robotic mission returned. This time, Engineers equipped the robot with a tiny drill capable of creating a very small opening through the limestone slab. The drilling operation was conducted with extraordinary care to avoid damaging the ancient structure. After hours of work, the opening was complete. A miniature camera was inserted through the tiny hole. For the first time in over 4,000 years, human eyes looked beyond the mysterious stone. The anticipation was overwhelming. What would appear? A hidden chamber? Gold? Ancient writings? Instead, the camera revealed something almost equally mysterious. Only a short distance beyond the first slab stood another stone barrier, a second sealed block. The passage continued, but remained closed. It was as though the builders had created not one barrier, but two. The mystery had only deepened. Why two barriers? Archaeologists immediately began debating the purpose of the second block. Was it simply another construction feature? A symbolic gateway? An unfinished section of the pyramid? Or evidence that the shaft protected something farther inside? No definitive answer emerged. Some researchers suggested the shafts themselves may never have been intended for physical access. Instead, they might have served ritual or symbolic purposes connected to the pharaoh's journey into the afterlife. Ancient Egyptian religion frequently described the king ascending to the heavens after death. Certain stars held profound religious significance. Interestingly, some researchers argue that the southern shaft once aligned roughly toward Orion's belt, associated with the god Osiris. Others suggest another shaft pointed toward stars connected with the goddess Isis or the imperishable circumpolar stars. Whether these alignments were intentional continues to be debated. But if the shafts carried symbolic meaning, why seal them so carefully? Even this explanation leaves unanswered questions. The northern shaft. If the southern shaft proved difficult, the northern shaft proved even more challenging. Unlike its relatively straight southern counterpart, the northern shaft twists through multiple sharp bends. Robots struggled to navigate its complex geometry. Eventually, improved technology reached the upper section. There too, another limestone block appeared. Again, sealed. Again, equipped with copper fittings. It became increasingly difficult to dismiss the design as accidental. The builders had repeated the same architectural feature on both sides of the chamber. Clearly, these elements were intentional. But intentional for what purpose? Were they really doors? Today, many Egyptologists avoid calling these stone blocks doors. The term suggests hinges, movement, and normal entryways. None of these characteristics have been demonstrated. Instead, researchers often refer to them as blocking stones or sealed slabs. Yet the popular nickname persists because of their appearance. The copper fittings resemble handles. The stone seems positioned like a doorway, and beyond it, something clearly continues. Even after decades of study, archaeologists still cannot say with confidence what lies at the ultimate end of these shafts. The passages remain among the least understood parts of the Great Pyramid. The hidden void changes everything. Then came the discovery that transformed the entire conversation. In 2017, the Scan Pyramids project announced the existence of the enormous big void above the Grand Gallery. Unlike the tiny shafts, this newly discovered space was massive, roughly 30 meters long, large enough to contain an entire passenger bus. No known entrance connects to it. No tunnel reaches it. No explorer has entered. Its existence proved something extraordinary. The Great Pyramid still contains major internal spaces unknown for more than 4 millennia. That single discovery changed archaeology forever. Because if one enormous hidden cavity escaped detection until the 21st century, could others still remain undiscovered? Every new answer creates more questions. Today, laser scanners, thermal imaging, endoscopic cameras, cosmic ray detectors, and advanced computer modeling continue to examine the Great Pyramid without damaging it. Each new investigation improves our understanding. Yet every breakthrough seems to reveal another mystery waiting beneath the stone. The Great Pyramid refuses to surrender its secrets easily. It is almost as though its architects anticipated curiosity thousands of years into the future, designing not merely a monument, but a puzzle. a puzzle so carefully constructed that modern science is still attempting to solve it. And perhaps the greatest mystery is not hidden behind a stone door, nor inside an unexplored chamber, but carved into a handful of strange symbols discovered deep within the pyramid itself. Symbols that have sparked fierce debate among archaeologists. Marks that some believe identify the workers who built the pyramid, while others claim they point toward something far more mysterious. What if the greatest clue inside the Great Pyramid was never hidden behind a secret door or buried beneath millions of tons of limestone? What if it had been there all along, painted onto stone, waiting for someone to understand its true meaning? Deep inside the pyramid, in spaces that ordinary visitors can never enter, archaeologists discovered something unexpected. Not golden treasures, not elaborate murals, not long religious texts. Instead, they found a handful of faded red markings. Simple, rough, almost careless. At first glance, they appear insignificant. Just a few painted symbols left behind thousands of years ago. Yet these tiny markings have become some of the most fiercely debated evidence in all of Egyptology, because they may answer one of history's biggest questions. Who really built the Great Pyramid? Or they may raise even deeper mysteries. Pyramids strangely silent. To appreciate why these symbols matter, we first need to understand something unusual about the Great Pyramid itself. Compared to almost every later royal tomb in Egypt, its interior is remarkably empty. Walk through the Grand Gallery. Stand inside the King's Chamber. Look carefully along the granite walls. You won't find magnificent murals. There are no colorful paintings of gods. No carved stories of the king's journey into the afterlife. No long hieroglyphic prayers covering every surface. This absence surprises many visitors. Ancient Egyptian monuments are famous for their elaborate inscriptions. Temples at Karnak, the tombs in the Valley of the Kings, the temples of Luxor and Abu Simbel, all overflow with carved images and hieroglyphs. Yet the Great Pyramid, the largest royal monument ever constructed, contains almost none. For centuries, scholars wondered why. Was it unfinished? Had inscriptions once existed and disappeared? Or was the simplicity itself intentional? The answer remains uncertain, but one extraordinary discovery changed everything. The hidden chambers above the King's Chamber. In 1837, British explorer Colonel Richard William Howard Vyse launched an ambitious expedition inside the Great Pyramid. By this time, the King's Chamber was already known, but Vyse suspected something else might exist above it. Using black powder explosives, a method that would never be permitted today, his team blasted through layers of stone above the chamber. What they discovered astonished the archaeological world. 5 narrow spaces stacked one above another. Today, these are known as the relieving chambers. Their engineering purpose is remarkable. They redirect the immense weight of millions of tons of stone away from the ceiling of the king's chamber below. Without them, the chamber might have collapsed long ago. But the chambers revealed something even more unexpected. On many of the rough limestone blocks, workers had left red-painted markings. These were never intended to be seen. Once construction ended, the chambers were permanently sealed. No visitors, no priests, no royal ceremonies, only darkness. For more than 4,000 years, messages never meant for human eyes. Unlike beautifully carved hieroglyphs found in temples, these markings look hurried. Some appear to be straight lines. Others resemble numbers. Many are short groups of hieratic writing, the cursive script used by ancient Egyptian workers for everyday purposes. Several identify work gangs responsible for transporting and placing stone blocks. Think of them as ancient construction labels. Something similar to modern builders writing section numbers on steel beams before a skyscraper is assembled. These markings helped workers organize one of history's largest construction projects. Most were hidden forever once the pyramid was completed. And that is precisely why archaeologists consider them so valuable. No one expected future generations to see them. They were practical records, not public monuments. The name that changed history. Among the most famous inscriptions appears a royal name, Khnum Khufu, better known today simply as Khufu, the reigning pharaoh traditionally credited with building the Great Pyramid. Some markings also mention work crews with names like the Friends of Khufu or the White Crown of Khnum Khufu. To Egyptologists, these inscriptions are enormously significant. Why? Because they directly connect the monument to Khufu's reign. For centuries, critics argued that no evidence actually tied Khufu to the Great Pyramid. These hidden quarry marks became one of the strongest pieces of archaeological evidence supporting the traditional attribution. Although brief and informal, they appear authentic precisely because they were hidden. No ancient visitor would ever admire them. No political audience would read them. They were never intended as propaganda. The forgery controversy. Yet not everyone accepted the discovery. Almost immediately, controversy emerged. Some critics claimed Howard Weiss himself had forged the inscriptions. According to this theory, the explorer desperately wanted a sensational discovery that would secure fame. Supporters of the forgery hypothesis argue that some markings appear unusual or contain spelling variations. Others question Weiss' excavation methods. Could he have painted the symbols himself? Professional Egyptologists overwhelmingly reject this idea. Several reasons support their conclusion. First, many inscriptions are located in cramped positions that would have been extraordinarily difficult to fake. Second, the markings correspond closely with known examples of Old Kingdom quarry inscriptions discovered at other archaeological sites decades later. Third, microscopic studies indicate the pigment has characteristics consistent with ancient materials. Finally, later excavations across Egypt uncovered numerous worker graffiti remarkably similar in style. If Weiss forged them, he somehow anticipated construction markings unknown to 19th century scholarship. That would require an extraordinary coincidence. Today, most specialists consider the inscriptions genuine. Still, the debate occasionally resurfaces, reminding us how even tiny markings can ignite enormous historical arguments. More than hieroglyphs, one common misconception deserves clarification. Many people call these symbols hieroglyphs. Technically, most are not. Hieroglyphs were the formal writing system used for monuments, temples, and royal inscriptions. The Great Pyramid's hidden markings are largely written in hieratic, a simplified cursive form of Egyptian writing. Imagine the difference between elegant calligraphy and someone's quick handwriting. The information remains similar. The style is entirely different. This distinction matters. Hieratic was the practical language of administrators, accountants, and workers. Its presence reinforces the idea that these marks belonged to the construction process itself. The symbols that nobody understands. Not every mark inside the pyramid has been fully explained. Alongside identifiable crew names are isolated symbols, construction marks, measurement indicators, stone placement guides. Some remain difficult to interpret because portions have faded or disappeared over thousands of years. Researchers continue comparing these markings with inscriptions found in ancient quarries throughout Egypt. Each comparison helps reconstruct how enormous building projects were organized. Sometimes what appears mysterious at first later proves to be surprisingly ordinary. Yet a few symbols still resist confident interpretation. And whenever ancient writing remains only partially understood, speculation inevitably follows. The rise of extraordinary theories. The internet transformed these obscure markings into global sensations. Some websites claimed the symbols were evidence of Atlantis. Others insisted they represented messages from extraterrestrials. Still others suggested they encoded forgotten scientific knowledge. Videos accumulated millions of views. Books promised hidden secrets. Social media filled with dramatic claims. The reality is both less sensational and arguably more fascinating. Ancient Egyptian workers developed sophisticated organizational systems capable of coordinating thousands of laborers across decades of construction. The markings reveal glimpses of that remarkable logistical achievement. Rather than diminishing the pyramid's mystery, they demonstrate the extraordinary capabilities of human civilization during the Old Kingdom. That doesn't answer every question. Far from it. But archaeology depends upon evidence. Where evidence ends, speculation begins. Understanding the difference is essential. Could there be more inscriptions? One intriguing possibility continues to excite researchers. If hidden relieving chambers preserved unseen construction marks, what about the newly discovered Big Void? Or other unexplored spaces still concealed within the pyramid? Could sealed chambers contain additional inscriptions, architectural diagrams, construction records, religious texts, or nothing at all? No one knows. Until those spaces can be investigated safely, their contents remain one of archaeology's greatest unknowns. The possibility alone fuels continued research using increasingly sophisticated imaging technology. Every mark tells a story. At first glance, the faded red symbols seem insignificant, just paint on stone. But together, they reveal something profoundly human. Thousands of years ago, ordinary workers stood inside these chambers. They lifted enormous limestone blocks, measured them, positioned them, marked them, then sealed the chambers forever, never imagining that distant descendants would one day discover their handwriting. These were not messages intended for kings. They were not prayers to the gods. They were traces of real people, builders whose names history almost forgot. And perhaps that is their greatest power. They remind us that behind every monumental achievement stood countless human hands, closing transition. Yet while these mysterious symbols reveal something about who built the Great Pyramid, they tell us almost nothing about why certain chambers were sealed forever. Because beyond the inscriptions, beyond the hidden shafts, beyond the famous King's Chamber, modern technology has uncovered something even more astonishing. An enormous empty space, invisible, untouched. A chamber so vast that scientists compared it to the size of a commercial airplane. No doorway leads inside. No archaeologist has entered. No camera has ever explored it. The Great Pyramid seemed to have surrendered all of its secrets. Every accessible corridor had been mapped. Every known chamber measured. Every stone carefully documented. Many archaeologists believed that the age of major discoveries inside the pyramid had come to an end. If there were any remaining mysteries, they would likely be small ones. Perhaps a forgotten inscription, a hidden tool, a minor construction detail. No one expected to discover an entirely new internal space, especially one hidden in the very heart of the world's most famous monument. But in the 21st century, a remarkable scientific experiment would prove everyone wrong. Without removing a single stone, without drilling through ancient walls, without even entering a new chamber, scientists discovered one of the greatest archaeological mysteries of the modern age. A massive hidden void, invisible for over 4,500 years, looking inside stone without opening it. Imagine trying to discover what is inside a mountain without digging. It sounds impossible, yet modern physics made exactly that possible. Instead of using X-rays, researchers turned to particles that constantly rain down on Earth from outer space. These particles are called muons. Every second, billions of muons pass through your body, through buildings, through mountains, even through the Great Pyramid itself. Most continue straight through solid rock. But thick stone absorbs more muons than empty space. By placing extremely sensitive detectors inside and around the pyramid, scientists could count how many muons passed through different areas. If an unexpected number reached a detector, it suggested there was less stone in that direction. In other words, an empty space. It was like giving the pyramid a medical scan. Only instead of hospital equipment, the universe itself supplied the radiation. The Scan Pyramids Project. In 2015, an international team of physicists, engineers, and Egyptologists launched one of the most ambitious, non-invasive archaeological investigations ever attempted. The project became known as Scan Pyramids. Their mission was straightforward: use advanced technology to search for hidden structures inside Egypt's greatest monuments without causing any damage. The team combined several cutting-edge methods: infrared thermography to detect unusual temperature differences, high-resolution 3D laser scanning, computer simulations. Most importantly, cosmic ray muon tomography. The goal was not to prove extraordinary theories. It was simply to collect data, wherever the evidence led. No assumptions, no sensationalism, just science. An unexpected signal. Months passed. Millions upon millions of muons were recorded. First, the data appeared exactly as expected. Then researchers noticed something strange. One region above the Grand Gallery showed significantly more muons passing through than should have been possible. At first, they suspected an equipment error. Scientific discoveries require skepticism. Every detector was checked. Measurements were repeated. Independent research teams analyzed the results using different detector technologies. Again, the same anomaly appeared. The evidence became increasingly difficult to ignore. Something inside the pyramid was missing. Not missing by accident. Missing because there appeared to be an enormous empty space. The discovery that shocked the world. In 2017, the team announced their findings. The hidden space became known simply as the Big Void. The discovery was published in the prestigious scientific journal Nature, immediately attracting worldwide attention. According to the measurements, the void stretched at least 30 meters or roughly 100 feet in length. Its exact shape remained uncertain. It appeared to lie directly above the Grand Gallery, one of the pyramid's most important internal passageways. It was the first major internal structure discovered inside the Great Pyramid since the 19th century. The announcement stunned both archaeologists and physicists, not because hidden spaces are impossible, but because no one had detected this one despite centuries of exploration. How could something so large remain hidden? That question puzzled everyone. How could an empty space the length of a passenger bus remain undiscovered for more than 4,000 years? The answer lies in the pyramid's extraordinary architecture. The walls surrounding the Big Void are enormously thick. No known passage connects directly to it. No visible entrance exists. Unlike the King's Chamber or Queen's Chamber, there is simply no doorway, no tunnel, nothing. It is completely isolated. At least, as far as anyone currently knows. What exactly is the Big Void? This is where the mystery begins. Scientists know the space exists, but they still cannot say exactly what it is. Several possibilities have been proposed. Perhaps it is a structural relieving space, much like the chambers above the King's Chamber that help distribute weight. This explanation fits known Egyptian engineering practices. Another possibility is that it represents an unfinished construction corridor, a temporary space used during building, later sealed permanently. Others suggest it may be an entirely unknown chamber, one never intended for regular human access. Each explanation has strengths. Each also leaves unanswered questions. If it is merely structural, why is it so large? If it served construction purposes, why isolate it so completely? If it is a chamber, where is the entrance? Present. No theory explains every observation. The internet explodes. As soon as the discovery became public, speculation spread across the world. Some claimed the void contained the lost burial chamber of Pharaoh Khufu. Others imagined hidden treasure untouched by ancient robbers. Some proposed forgotten libraries preserving the knowledge of Atlantis. Alien technology, secret energy devices, ancient machines. The internet offered endless possibilities. But responsible archaeology demands caution. The existence of an empty space tells us only one thing with certainty. There is an empty space, nothing more. Everything else remains hypothetical until evidence is obtained. That distinction is crucial. Science advances through observation, not imagination. Why not simply drill into it? This may seem like the obvious solution. If researchers know where the void is, why not make a hole and insert a camera? The answer is surprisingly complicated. The Great Pyramid is one of humanity's most valuable cultural treasures. Any physical intervention carries risk. Even a small drill hole could damage irreplaceable ancient stone. It might weaken structural integrity. or destroy evidence that future technology could examine without intrusion. Modern archaeology follows a simple principle: preserve first, investigate carefully, only intervene when absolutely necessary. As technology improves, scientists hope to gather more information using methods that leave the monument untouched. New technology, new hope. Researchers continue developing increasingly sophisticated scanning techniques. Future generations of muon detectors may produce much higher resolution images. Miniature robotic probes continue becoming smaller and more capable. Artificial intelligence now helps analyze subtle structural patterns invisible to human observers. Some scientists envision microscopic robots capable of entering existing cracks without damaging the pyramid. Others propose advanced fiber optic imaging systems. For now, these ideas remain under development. But history has shown that today's impossible technology often becomes tomorrow's standard tool. Exactly as cosmic ray imaging once seemed unimaginable. What does the discovery really mean? Perhaps the most important consequence of the Big Void isn't the chamber itself. It's what the discovery proves. For generations, many believed the Great Pyramid had already revealed every major secret. Now we know that assumption was wrong. If one enormous hidden space escaped detection until 2017, what else might still remain concealed? Could additional chambers exist? Unknown corridors? Hidden architectural features? Construction spaces? No responsible archaeologist can answer yes, but neither can they answer no. For the first time in centuries, the possibility of entirely new discoveries inside the Great Pyramid has become scientifically credible once again. The pyramid still has secrets. There is something profoundly humbling about this realization. Human beings have studied the Great Pyramid for thousands of years. Ancient Greek historians admired it. Roman travelers explored it. Arab scholars documented it. Victorian explorers mapped it. Modern engineers scanned it with lasers. Physicists examined it using particles born in exploding stars. And still, we do not fully understand what lies inside. The Great Pyramid continues to challenge every generation that studies it. Perhaps that is its greatest achievement, not merely surviving for 45 centuries, but remaining relevant, remaining mysterious, remaining capable of surprising even the most advanced scientific minds. Closing transition. Yet, while the Great Void raises extraordinary questions about hidden spaces, another mystery reaches even deeper into history. Why was the Great Pyramid built with such astonishing precision in the first place? Was it simply the tomb of a powerful king? Or did its architects intend something more? For more than 2 centuries, one explanation has dominated history books. The Great Pyramid was built as the tomb of Pharaoh Khufu. Simple, straightforward, case closed. But if that's true, another question immediately follows. Why would a royal tomb require such extraordinary precision? Why build a monument taller than any structure humanity would create for nearly 4,000 years? Why incorporate hidden shafts, sealed passages, relieving chambers, and perhaps even enormous concealed voids? Was all of this simply to protect the body of one king? Or was the Great Pyramid designed to serve multiple purposes? Some practical, some symbolic, and some we still do not fully understand. To answer that question, we must first look at the evidence. Not the myths, not the internet rumors. The evidence, the traditional explanation. Most Egyptologists agree that the Great Pyramid was constructed during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu around 2560 BCE. Their conclusion is based on several independent lines of evidence. The quarry marks discovered above the king's chamber mention Khufu's royal name. The surrounding cemetery contains tombs belonging to officials who served during his reign. Nearby boat pits held full-sized ceremonial vessels associated with royal funerary rituals. The architectural evolution of earlier pyramids, from the Step Pyramid of Djoser to the Bent Pyramid and the Red Pyramid, shows a clear progression leading to the Great Pyramid. Rather than appearing suddenly, the monument represents the culmination of generations of architectural experimentation. To archaeologists, the evidence strongly supports one conclusion. The Great Pyramid was indeed intended as Khufu's royal burial monument. But that does not mean every question has been answered. Far from it. The missing mummy, one of the most common arguments raised against the tomb theory, is surprisingly simple. No mummy has ever been found inside the Great Pyramid. When early explorers entered the king's chamber, they discovered only an empty granite sarcophagus. There were no treasures, no jewelry, no royal furniture, no preserved body, nothing. To many people, this seems suspicious. If the pyramid was a tomb, where is the king? The answer may lie in history rather than mystery. Ancient Egypt suffered repeated episodes of tomb robbery. Even heavily guarded royal burials were looted. The Valley of the Kings provides numerous examples of pharaohs whose treasures disappeared thousands of years ago. Many royal mummies survived only because priests secretly reburied them in hidden caches. The Great Pyramid was entered in antiquity, exactly when remains uncertain, but evidence suggests that if Khufu was originally buried there, his burial chamber was almost certainly robbed long before modern archaeology began. An empty chamber does not necessarily mean there was never a burial. It may simply mean the burial did not survive. A tomb unlike any other. Still, the Great Pyramid differs from later royal tombs in important ways. Most Egyptian tombs contain elaborate religious texts describing the king's journey into the afterlife. Walls depict offerings, gods, ceremonies, protective spells. The Great Pyramid contains almost none of these decorations. Its interior feels strikingly plain. Some researchers argue this is because pyramid texts had not yet become standard during Khufu's reign. Those inscriptions appear extensively only in later pyramids. Others wonder whether important ceremonial elements were once present but made from materials that no longer survive. Wood, fabric, paint, or perhaps they existed in chambers that remain undiscovered. Present, there is no definitive answer. The astronomical connection. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Great Pyramid is its relationship with the sky. Its sides align extraordinarily closely with true north, an achievement requiring remarkable observational skill. The narrow shafts extending from the king's chamber appear to point toward regions of the heavens significant in ancient Egyptian religion. The southern shaft has often been associated with Orion, linked symbolically with the god Osiris. Another shaft may have aligned with stars that never set below the horizon, the so-called imperishable stars. To the ancient Egyptians, these eternal stars represented immortality. The king's soul was believed to join them after death. This astronomical symbolism fits remarkably well with the idea of a royal funerary monument. Rather than serving practical ventilation, the shafts may have functioned as symbolic pathways connecting the deceased king with the heavens. Whether every proposed stellar alignment is exact remains debated, but few scholars doubt that astronomy played an important role in the pyramid's design. The power plant theory. Not everyone accepts the traditional interpretation. Over the past century, a variety of alternative theories have emerged. Among the most famous is the claim that the Great Pyramid functioned as an ancient power plant. According to this idea, its granite chambers, water, chemical reactions, or even Earth's natural energy somehow generated electricity. Supporters point to the conductive properties of granite containing quartz crystals. Others argue that the pyramid's geometry amplified natural energy fields. It sounds intriguing, but there is a fundamental problem. No archaeological evidence supports it. No wires, no electrical devices, no machinery, no residues indicating industrial processes. While certain minerals can exhibit fascinating physical properties, there is currently no evidence that the Great Pyramid operated as an electrical generator. Most scientists reject this theory because it relies primarily on speculation rather than material evidence. The alien hypothesis. Perhaps no idea has captured the public imagination more than the suggestion that extraterrestrials built or helped build the Great Pyramid. Supporters often ask, how could ancient people move such enormous stones? How could they achieve such remarkable precision? Surely, someone from another world must have assisted. It is an exciting story, but archaeology offers a different perspective. Over the past several decades, researchers have uncovered increasing evidence of ancient Egyptian engineering methods. Workers' villages, stone quarries, copper tools, transport records, construction ramps, administrative papyri. Together, these discoveries demonstrate that Egyptian civilization possessed the organization, knowledge, and manpower necessary to accomplish extraordinary feats. Invoking extraterrestrials becomes unnecessary when abundant human evidence exists. In fact, many historians argue that attributing the pyramid to aliens unintentionally diminishes one of humanity's greatest engineering achievements. The ancient Egyptians were capable of remarkable accomplishments. Their success deserves recognition. Could the pyramid have had multiple purposes? This possibility has gained increasing attention. Perhaps the Great Pyramid was primarily a royal tomb, while also serving additional symbolic and ceremonial functions. Ancient Egyptian monuments rarely fulfilled only one role. Temples functioned as religious centers, economic institutions, political symbols, and astronomical observatories simultaneously. The Great Pyramid may likewise have represented a royal burial place, a monument celebrating divine kingship, a symbol of national unity, a cosmic staircase connecting earth and heaven, an architectural expression of creation itself. These purposes are not mutually exclusive. A single monument can embody many meanings. Indeed, that complexity may explain why the pyramid continues fascinating researchers today. The symbol of creation. Ancient Egyptian creation myths often describe the first mound of land emerging from the primeval waters at the beginning of time. Some scholars believe the pyramid symbolized this sacred mound. Its sharply rising form represented creation itself. The polished white limestone casing, now mostly lost, would have reflected brilliant sunlight across the desert. Imagine approaching Giza 4,000 years ago. Instead of weathered yellow stone, you would have seen an almost dazzling white mountain crowned with a gleaming capstone, visible for miles, perhaps shimmering like the sun itself. It was more than architecture. It was sacred landscape, a monument designed to connect heaven, earth, and the divine authority of the pharaoh. The danger of false certainty. One of the greatest lessons archaeology teaches is humility. Some mysteries eventually find answers. Others remain unresolved for generations. The Great Pyramid reminds us that uncertainty is not failure. It is an invitation to continue asking better questions. Responsible researchers distinguish between three categories. What we know. The pyramid was built during Khufu's reign using extraordinary human engineering. What we strongly suspect. It served as a royal funerary monument with profound religious symbolism. What remains unknown. The exact function of every chamber, the purpose of every shaft, the meaning of every hidden space. Recognizing these distinctions allows science to move forward without sacrificing curiosity. The monument that refuses simple answers. Perhaps people continue returning to the Great Pyramid because it resists simple explanations. It is simultaneously a masterpiece of engineering, a sacred monument, a political statement, an astronomical achievement, a royal tomb, a mathematical wonder, and still, a source of unanswered questions. Its mystery does not depend upon aliens, or Atlantis, or supernatural powers. Reality is already extraordinary enough. 4.5 millennia after its construction, the Great Pyramid remains one of the greatest achievements ever produced by human civilization. And it has not finished surprising us. Closing transition. Yet one question still lingers in the darkness. If the Great Pyramid was designed so carefully, why do modern scans continue revealing hidden spaces that no ancient text ever mentions? Could another chamber still lie waiting beyond the stone? Could future technology uncover an entrance where none is visible today? Or will the pyramid keep its greatest secret forever? Some mysteries disappear with time. Others become clearer as science advances. But a select few seem to grow even more mysterious the closer we look. The Great Pyramid belongs to that rare category. For over 4,500 years, it has challenged kings, explorers, engineers, archaeologists, physicists, and historians. Every generation believed it stood on the edge of solving the mystery. Every generation discovered, instead, that the pyramid was even more complex than anyone had imagined. Today, we stand at another turning point, not with picks and hammers, not with dynamite, but with artificial intelligence, robotics, particle physics, and technologies that ancient explorers could never have dreamed of. The question is no longer, can we explore the hidden chambers? The real question has become, how do we explore them without destroying what we are trying to protect? A new era of archaeology. During the 19th century, archaeology often meant excavation. Walls were broken, tunnels were dug, artifacts were removed. Sometimes valuable discoveries were made. Sometimes irreplaceable history was lost forever. Today, archaeology has changed dramatically. Modern researchers follow a very different philosophy. Preserve first, explore second. Every stone inside the Great Pyramid is considered part of humanity's shared heritage. Once damaged, can never truly be restored. This is why scientists have become increasingly creative. Rather than opening the pyramid, they are learning to see through it, seeing the invisible. The discovery of the Big Void proved that hidden spaces can be detected without touching a single block of limestone. But researchers believe this is only the beginning. New generations of muon detectors are becoming smaller, more sensitive, and capable of producing much higher resolution images. Future scans may reveal small hidden corridors, previously unknown structural chambers, construction cavities, or perhaps additional voids still concealed deep within the monument. Instead of blurry outlines, scientists hope to create detailed three-dimensional maps of the pyramid's entire interior, like a medical CT scan, only on an ancient wonder of the world. If successful, future archaeologists may know the exact internal architecture before entering any new space. Robots designed for places humans cannot reach. The Great Pyramid contains passages too narrow for people. Some measure less than 20 centimeters across. Even the smallest human explorer cannot fit. Robots have therefore become indispensable. The first robotic explorers in the 1990s were remarkable for their time. But compared to modern machines, they were relatively simple. Today's engineers are developing robots no larger than a human hand. Some resemble tiny insects. Others move like snakes, flexible enough to navigate sharp turns inside ancient shafts. Future robots may carry ultra-high-definition cameras, laser scanners, chemical sensors, microscopic sampling tools, even miniature robotic arms capable of gently examining surfaces without causing damage. Imagine a robot smaller than a mouse, traveling through a passage no human has entered for 45 centuries, sending live images back to researchers across the world. That future may be much closer than many realize. Artificial intelligence joins the search. Surprisingly, one of the most powerful tools in pyramid research may not be physical at all. It may be artificial intelligence. Every archaeological survey produces enormous quantities of data. Laser measurements, thermal images, muon scans, ground-penetrating radar, photogrammetry, satellite imagery. No human team can analyze every possible relationship within such vast datasets. Artificial intelligence excels precisely at this kind of task. Modern algorithms can identify subtle patterns invisible to human observers. Minute structural irregularities, unusual temperature distributions, tiny geometric inconsistencies. Each may point toward hidden architectural features. AI cannot replace archaeologists, but it can help them ask better questions. Sometimes, the greatest discoveries begin with a pattern no person noticed. Could we ever enter the Big Void? This remains one of archaeology's most fascinating questions. Technically, perhaps, practically, it is extraordinarily difficult. Researchers must solve several problems simultaneously. First, they need to determine the exact shape of the void. Second, they must locate the safest possible access point. Third, Any intervention must avoid damaging one of the world's most precious monuments. Some engineers have proposed drilling an extremely small opening only a few millimeters wide, large enough for a fiber optic camera. Others argue that even this should be avoided until absolutely necessary. Future technology may eliminate the need entirely. Perhaps one day imaging systems will become so advanced that entering physically will no longer be required. Until then, the Big Void remains one of history's most inaccessible rooms. What might be inside? This is the question that captures imaginations around the world. But before considering possibilities, it's important to remember something. Scientists already know the void exists. Everything beyond that remains uncertain. Several realistic possibilities have been proposed. Possibility 1. A structural space. Many Egyptologists believe the Big Void may simply be another relieving chamber. The Great Pyramid contains several architectural spaces designed to reduce pressure on important rooms below. If this interpretation is correct, the void may contain nothing except empty space. No treasure, no inscriptions, no hidden artifacts. Even so, its discovery would still deepen our understanding of ancient engineering. Sometimes, understanding how something was built is just as important as discovering what was left behind. Possibility 2. A construction corridor. Another hypothesis suggests the void formed part of the original building process. Temporary corridors may have allowed workers to transport materials, position massive stones, or adjust internal structures. Once construction ended, these passages could have been permanently sealed. Ancient builders often incorporated temporary features that later disappeared from view. The Big Void might represent one of the last surviving examples. Possibility 3. An unknown chamber. This possibility generates the greatest excitement. Could the void be an undiscovered chamber? Perhaps, but if so, its purpose remains entirely unknown. Would it contain artifacts, architectural records, religious objects, or simply another empty room? Present, there is no evidence supporting any specific conclusion. Only future investigation can answer that question. The temptation of extraordinary claims. Every time a new discovery is announced, extraordinary stories quickly appear. Hidden libraries, alien technology, ancient weapons, lost civilizations, forbidden knowledge. These ideas spread rapidly because they are exciting. But history teaches an important lesson. Reality often proves more fascinating than fiction. Consider the workers' village discovered near Giza. At first glance, a collection of simple houses seems far less dramatic than alien visitors. Yet those modest ruins transformed our understanding of pyramid construction. They revealed the lives of real people, real engineers, real builders. Sometimes, the truth is not only more believable, it is more meaningful. The pyramid and the future of science. The Great Pyramid is no longer studied only by archaeologists. Today, it brings together experts from dozens of disciplines: physicists, engineers, geologists, computer scientists, architects, materials specialists, robotics experts, artificial intelligence researchers, astronomers. Each contributes a different piece of the puzzle. The pyramid has become something remarkable, not simply an ancient monument, but a living scientific laboratory, a place where cutting-edge technology meets one of humanity's oldest mysteries: why the Great Pyramid still matters. Some people ask an understandable question. Why spend so much time studying a monument built thousands of years ago? The answer reaches beyond archaeology. The Great Pyramid reminds us what human civilization is capable of achieving. Its builders worked without modern machinery, without electricity, without computers. Yet they created a structure that still inspires wonder nearly 5 millennia later. Every new discovery expands not only our understanding of ancient Egypt, but our appreciation of human ingenuity itself. The pyramid is more than stone. It is a conversation across time. One generation asking questions, another generation searching for answers. A mystery that belongs to everyone. Perhaps the most beautiful aspect of the Great Pyramid is that it belongs to no single nation. It is part of humanity's shared story. Whether you live in Cairo, New York, Tokyo, London, or Sao Paulo, its mysteries belong to all of us. Every scientific breakthrough becomes another chapter in a story that began before recorded history. A story still unfolding. Even now, final reflection. Somewhere beyond those limestone walls, silent chambers still wait. Perhaps they are empty. Perhaps they contain forgotten clues. Perhaps they exist only as brilliant engineering solutions devised by architects whose names history has long forgotten. Whatever the truth may be, the Great Pyramid has already accomplished something extraordinary. It has survived the rise and fall of empires. It has outlived languages, religions, kingdoms, and civilizations. It has watched humanity journey from bronze tools to space telescopes to quantum computers, and still, it refuses to surrender all of its secrets. Perhaps that is its greatest legacy. Not that it contains mysteries, but that it continues to inspire us to search for them, because every generation believes it may finally unlock the pyramid's greatest secret. And every generation discovers that there is still one more question waiting in the darkness. The Great Pyramid of Giza has stood beneath the Egyptian sky for more than 4,500 years. Modern science has revealed hidden chambers, mysterious shafts, and vast unseen spaces. But many questions remain unanswered. Whether future discoveries uncover new evidence or simply deepen the mystery, one truth is certain. The Great Pyramid continues to remind us that the greatest wonders of history are not only the monuments themselves, but the endless curiosity they awaken within us.